So what brought you here?
Well, I retired from the bank, and my son found an ad in the newspaper, and it said homes in the Manitouwadge area for $40,000. First of all, we thought it was an error, so we called and said, oh yeah, they were mine homes, and they were on sale for $40,000. So we drove up, my son and and
Rest is history.
I decided that this is where my wife and I wanted to retire.
Okay.
And when I got up here, everything is ideal for somebody like me. I mean, we have a golf course within walking distance for everybody. There's lots of churches and singing and stuff for my wife. And there's a very nice library, a relatively new hospital, and a new town hall, and all the facilities are here. So for me, it was a perfect location.
And how long ago was that?
About 8 years ago.
8 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. And what brought you into politics? A transition from a bank to a small town into politics?
Well, it's when I first came here, I joined the golf club, obviously, and Economic Development Corporation, and Seniors Association, and a few other things, and decided that it was something I would like to do. I'd never been in politics before. It's a brand new field for me, but my background with banking and business made it ideal for me to be able to work on some of the areas that a small town mayor needs to work on. I happen to be pretty involved in the Ontario Good Roads Association. I was the president of the Toronto District Municipal League and vice president of NOMA, which is Northern Ontario Mayors Association. I'm also the president of one of the 15 Canadian model forests as well. So because of my background, it's kind of ideal for the community and for me.
Absolutely. Having said that, this is a very vibrant town, I would say, and wherever we have been, and we had free access, and I would say everybody was very friendly, very welcoming. Don't you think it is high time that at the government level, let it be, we have three forms of government in this country, one is federal, one is provincial, and one is municipal. At any level, there should be an effort, and at least an effort for now be made to educate new Canadians, because the cities are getting crowded, and there's a lot of prospects elsewhere too, other than just Brampton or Toronto or Mississauga, or I could name on and on and on.
Yeah.
That investments should be made in small towns, and so jobs could be created, and obviously more prosperity. So has anybody thought about it?
Yes, they have, and
okay.
we do push that, and that's one of the things that our Ontario Good Roads and NOMA push all the time with our provincial representatives. We obviously feel that there's a lot of potential up here. There's certainly a lot of potential in the mining and the forestry industry, and because of that, there would be potential for all the ancillary businesses which could come with it. We've started, I think, made a very good start with the Ring of Fire up in Northern Ontario, and certainly the provincial government has done a good job on the forest tenure and restructuring the forest tenure. So they're working on it. They're probably not as fast as us communities would like to see them work, but they are at least working on it.
Okay, because I went around town, and what I thought I understood, and correct me if I'm wrong, they have the biggest business or the biggest turnout would be from the US, and that would be the snowmobiling industry. And they have had some reservations in conversating with me that that business is going down and nobody seems to be helping us.
Okay, I understand that, but snowmobiling is a secular business. There are times when it gets really, really good, and sometimes when it slows down.
That's
and
what business is about.
Right now, it's in a low period, and we are having problems in Manitouwadge, for instance, getting even our local people interested in being in the snowmobile clubs. That's the big problem we have now. Because we don't have enough people, we no longer have anybody around to groom the trails, and so really we have no way of bringing in the people from outside. What we need is more interest internally,
okay,
from our own people in doing that. And I think the hard part is to get enough people interested in doing it.
Okay, so one way to promote business, other than the snowmobiling industry, which absolutely is an internal matter of the township, to bring in more businesses, I would say that being a stronghold, GTA being a stronghold for the new immigrants, and that's no hidden secret anyway. So a sincere effort should be made through the MPPs, the elected MPPs, or there are 13 or 15 MPPs of those particular areas where there's a greater influx of immigrants, to educate them. The dialogue starts or begins from education, to educate them that there are prospects. But I, being living in Brampton, I was telling somebody else this morning, I said, at times, for days and days, I don't have to speak English, because everywhere is South Asian people. I go to a gas station, I don't have to speak English. I go to a pizza place, I don't have to speak English. To a medical store, and I could go on and on and on. So having said that, that is not the real Canadian experience. And we are, whenever we apply for a job as a new immigrant, and that immigrant could be a Polish immigrant, a South Asian immigrant, and again we could talk. An effort should be made so they are really educated towards the Canadian issues, and that can only be possible when they come to the heartlands and not just where their own communities are and they don't really get any Canadian experience. So I don't see any effort being made. So I urge you as a mayor of a town, bring these issues up with the local politicians over there whenever you have an interaction. And the interaction doesn't have to be physical, it could be from any, to today's day and age, email, faxes,
and yes, we do, and certainly that is something that has to be in the forefront of what we as mayors can do, because that really, we can't generate the business ourselves, but we've got to make sure that the politicians are talking to the people, and that we do give the opportunity to people like our Economic Development Department to try to make the area more, not just enjoyable, but a good area to be in.
Absolutely. Having said that, we'll try our best to educate our viewers, and because we have readers, we write in newspapers, we have listeners, we have a radio show, we have obviously a television show, we'll do our best to educate them, but still the resources have to come from somewhere to educate them at a higher level.
Very good.
Thank you very much for your time, and if you are ever in the general GTA area, I would want to know and bring you out in the studios and have a regular interview.
Okay, very good. I'll do that, because I'm going to be down there in September for our OGRA meetings anyway, so I may give you a call when I come down.
My pleasure.
Okay.
And